Hello students, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another video from QuickStudy. This video covers business aims and objectives from topic 1.3, putting business ideas into practice. And in this video, we'll learn about what business aims and objectives are. And essentially, there are financial aims and objectives, then there are non-financial aims and objectives. Financial aims and objectives could include reasons like survival, profit, sales, market share, or financial security, whereas non-financial objectives could include social objectives, personal satisfaction, challenge, independence, and control. And towards the end, we'll also talk about how business aims and objectives differ between businesses. So, what are aims really? Aims are more in the general or a broader sense, an idea that an entrepreneur has in their mind. If I were to give you an example, it could be an entrepreneur thinking that he wants to get rich. It might not always be explicitly discussed with the staff, but they would eventually understand the gist of it. And if I were to give you another example, it could be Jose Mourinho, the club manager. His aim is always to win. And another manager might have a different aim, which could be to build a successful youth academy. And how does objective really differ from aim is that objectives are more specific and narrowed down, since objectives are essentially derived from aims. And to describe objectives better, we have an acronym which goes as SMART. And SMART essentially, the S in SMART essentially stands for specific. So the objective that you set for yourself has to be clearly defined and precise. And then M stands for measurable or quantifiable so that you can set goals appropriately and track your progress along the way, of course. And the A stands for achievable or attainable. If your goals or your objectives are not in your reach, it might not be realistic to set goals or objectives like that. And of course, it has to be realistic because it has to be practical to start off with and within your reach, of course. And last but not the least is time bound. You need to set a time for yourself as to when or by what time you want to get done or reach your goals or objectives. If I were to give you an example, it could be to win the Champions League in the next 3 years. So, why is it really necessary that you set clear objectives for yourself? First of all, setting clear objectives provides a sense of purpose for the employees to work towards, and this in turn will motivate them to work harder to achieve those objectives. If I were to give you an example, in 2015, Costa Coffee announced that they wanted to increase their number of stores in China from 344 to 900 by 2020. And setting clear goals like this helps the managers to set the necessary resources separately to achieve these objectives. And setting clear objectives are definitely a focal point for staff activity, decision making, and this definitely drives the business towards achieving their aims much better. And now you need to understand why business aims and objectives will differ. First of all, you need to understand that different entrepreneurs have diverse motivations and goals. Some will only start a business with the goal of making money, while others will start with a business idea and see the financial gain as a secondary. If I had to give you an example, I could tell you about Michael Dubin, who started Dollar Shave Club in America. And he essentially started this business from disgust at how Gillette's dominance of the shaving market in the USA led to such high, crazy prices for shaving products. And this is why he wanted to start a business and disrupt the industry so that he could provide people with affordable shaving products. And did you know in the UK, Gillette reportedly charges a markup of up to 4,750%. And that essentially means if something costs Gillette £1 to make, they are going to sell it for 47.5 pounds. So you need to understand that business success often goes beyond money, and business success typically leads to financial gain. If I were to give you an example, Dollar Shave Club was later acquired by Unilever for $1 billion in 2016, even though they were not making a profit. So there are some common objectives when a new enterprise starts business. So first of all, a common objective would be a financial objective. And the aim of a financial objective is to become wealthy. And if I were to give you an example, back in the days, Elon Musk co-founded PayPal with an idea to revolutionize how to digitalize online transactions and payments. And in return, he wanted to generate substantial financial returns. And then a common objective for new enterprise is business objective. And the aim of a business objective is to establish and prove the viability of a new business idea. And if I were to give you an example, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph are the co-founders of Netflix, and their idea was to revolutionize how people consumed entertainment by providing a convenient and reliable streaming service. You see, their objective was to prove that the concept's viability and the challenge and dominance of traditional media and cable television and video rental stores. And another common objective for new enterprises would be social objective. And the aim of a social objective is to make an impact towards the environment. And an example of a social objective is to create a charity that is focused on improving the water quality in Africa's impoverished villages. So financial objectives could be broken down into two different parts. First of all, there is profitability. Some entrepreneurs are desperate to prove themselves as quickly as possible. What this will often lead to is unethical business practices, and many businesses have been exposed by different watchdog organizations for doubtful business practices. What you should be doing ideally is make enough profit so that you can cover your expenses and potentially build wealth. And you should always remember that you have to balance the pursuit of profit with ethical and sustainable business practices. You see, the best of the businesses are those who has an eye for long-term sustainability. And another aspect of financial objective is sales. You should focus on building a loyal customer base, and you should prioritize scaling your business and user acquisition over profitability. And this is especially true for online businesses. If I were to give you an example, WhatsApp was acquired by Facebook for over $19 billion, even though WhatsApp did have sales, but they did not make any profit. And another common objective for new enterprises is market share. You should focus on achieving a significant share of the market. What this does is increase your negotiating powers with the buyers and suppliers in the industry. And with a strong negotiating power and a strong market share, you will achieve higher distribution levels. And of course, similarly, another important business objective for new enterprises is financial security. You should be able to protect your intellectual property and innovation with different kinds of trademarks and patents. What this does is it essentially ensures long-term stability for your business as it prevents competitors from entering the market. To give you an idea and an example about how protecting your intellectual property and innovation can help you remain stable in the industry is how Nestle did it. In 2010, Nestle announced removing up to 1,700 patents on its coffee making machine. And only after this announcement and some patents started to expire, the competitors were able to copy these ideas from them. And this is how Nestle secured their position in the market. So, as we have already talked about it, besides financial objectives, there are non-financial objectives that a business would pursue. So, one of them is social objective. Well, some entrepreneurs are motivated by social goals rather than purely financial ones, and not-for-profit enterprises are businesses that aims to achieve these social objectives using traditional business methods. And examples may include charities like Oxfam, which aims to suffering in developing countries. And then there are other businesses like One, which aims to provide clean water to needy communities in Africa. And these non-financial objectives reflect a growing trend in entrepreneurship, which aims to address these social issues and promote sustainable and ethical business practices. Other non-financial objectives for starting a business may include personal satisfaction. You see, a lot of the people seek fulfillment and personal satisfaction that they cannot enjoy from traditional employment, right? And a lot of the times people would want to showcase their abilities and skills. If I were to give you an example, you see, this is a very powerful motive for a lot of people to get into entrepreneurship because they have struggled to show their talents at school, and there is a famously high correlation between dyslexia and entrepreneurship. And if I were to give you a famous example, Richard Branson is probably UK's most famous dyslexic. And another non-financial objective could be challenges. You see, some people like to climb mountains while others prefer take a walk on the countryside. You see, entrepreneurship requires a significant set of skills or personal skills, which may include leadership, planning, and prioritizing resources. And you see, for some, the allure of overcoming these challenges acts as a driving force to overcome these challenges and start their venture. However, for some people, it might feel like too much pressure. And if you are that person, just stick to the countryside walks. And another non financial objective for people to start a business could be independence. You see, a lot of the people value their own autonomy and to be their own boss, making decisions by themselves, and they do not want to work in traditional hierarchical organizations. And entrepreneurship can offer an opportunity for individuals, especially for immigrants who face a lot of barriers in traditional career paths. And to create their paths and overcome this discrimination, entrepreneurship can be an amazing opportunity. And control is also another important non-financial factor why many people would start a business. You see, many entrepreneurs typically desire control over their businesses and over their destinies as well. And this is exactly why they are reluctant to sell their businesses, because selling them off, even for large sums of money, would mean that they're giving up control and autonomy over their business and their life in a sense. So they prioritize maintaining control and autonomy over maximizing financial gains. And of course, with different kinds of financial and non-financial objectives, you also need to consider that there are ethics and there are potential ethical concerns that you need to take into consideration. Starting businesses will often prioritize profit over quality and ethics, and this can lead to practices such as overcharging for poor quality work. And this is what has led to a lot of the businesses failure. And they also sometimes encourage irresponsible financial behavior. If I were to give you an example, you see, financial institutions will often encourage young people to build up their debt, whereas they can't really afford to pay it back. And we need to understand that there is variety among businesses. You see, just as every individual is unique, so is every business. And they have differing motivations, practices, and societal impacts. And students, with that, we have come towards the end of this video. To give you a short recap of what we have covered in this video, first of all, we have discussed what are financial objectives and what are non-financial objectives. We have also discussed what are business aims and objectives. We have also talked about what are the different kinds of financial and non-financial objectives. And to end it all, we have discussed why objectives and aims will differ between businesses. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. And if you've liked this video, do subscribe to our channel, since we post videos on different topics and subjects that can help you ace your GCSEs. And for more information about our online tutoring services, you can visit our website www.quickstudy.uk. Thank you.